What's your experience with shamanism, and where have you been with all that, and what do you know? Do you do anything about that? So let us know.
Yeah, I think shamanism is a word that people are very attached to. And so a lot of people don't want anyone who looks like me to use that word. But I've been trained primarily by shamans. And so I could call myself a shaman. The work I do is shamanistic. There's no difference between what I do and what they do. But I don't have a specific tradition. There's not just one specific tradition that someone has sort of like Christed me with, like, now you are this, right? So I've been around the world and I've learned from all sorts of traditions and people. And I've had teachers from, the East in Hindu sorts of cultures and Buddhist sorts of teachers. I've had Taoist teachers, and I've had mostly shamanic teachers. But like I said, I've had shamanic teachers from Ecuador who call themselves Taitas. I've had shamanic teachers from the Americas, right? Native American teachers as well, from various tribes and cultures. And so they're not just one thing, right? But when I look at all of these spiritual teachers and healers and leaders, I see the exact same thing happening. There's slightly different traditions, there's slightly different ways, but it's the same in each case, in which you are going into some sort of state where you're accessing the other side, whatever you want to call that, right? The astral or the akashic or whatever, the soul space is what I call it. And then you're bringing back information and healing. And sometimes you're grabbing parts of people that were left in other lifetimes, or, it's like there's time travel going on. Like there's all kinds of things, but all of it is that same action of you're going into this other sort of space and you're coming back to this space with some of that information and healing and whatnot. And so so the word shamanic does describe what I do. But if I call myself a shaman, people get upset sometimes. So sometimes I just say, I'm a mystic healer, right? If you want to call me a shaman, you can. If you want to call me a healer, you can. If you want to call me a mystic, you can. I'm a teacher too. I've been a teacher by profession, and I still teach via my show, Rogue Ways and Middle Path, and via my one-on-one work that I do with some people who are also developing their own spiritual skills and healing and that sort of thing. So all of those things are what shamans do as well. So I don't know. I don't tend to call myself a shaman for those reasons, but there's nothing different between what I do and what shamans do. Again, I didn't even go seeking this, and at no point did I seek any of it. Like it literally came to me every time out of the blue, unexpected, where I would meet a shamanic teacher, especially, and they would invite me to come heal with them and learn with them. And each time I just would, and it was always random, and it wasn't like I went to like a spiritual fair and a shaman, probably I'd be just like walking down the street and a shaman would be like, you, literally, and we would then connect. And so that's also, part of how I knew to trust myself, because one of the biggest blockages to anybody who is going down this path is trusting yourself and the path, that this is actually real and that you are actually doing it. And so that helped me actually a lot. If I would have gone seeking it, I'm a very logical person, actually. I'm exceptionally rational. And so I would have convinced myself like, well, I went seeking that and I went and grabbed that. And I'm just trying to convince myself I'm doing these things. And I think my soul knew that. So it was like, all right, we've got to just like throw her into it like randomly. And then she'll learn to trust this and open up a little bit more. Because otherwise I would have spent my whole life in doubt. And doubt is, you are not going to accomplish anything if you're in doubt. If you believe you cannot do it, you are not going to do it, right? So it was really helpful to get over that doubt and over rational self, perhaps, and really sink into that mystical side of life that is everywhere all of the time, period.